Folks, we're back. This is Steve Sampson and Stephanie Phillips with another episode of Veterans in Politics. Today we have Amanda Pellizzari, candidate for Las Vegas Municipal Court Judge, Department number uno. But before we get to Ms. Pellizzari, Ms. Phillips.
Thank you for joining us, everybody, and thank you to our sponsors. We have Dr. Ari Nagy. He's running for Congressional District 3. His website is nagyforcongress.com, and that's F-O-R, nagyforcongress.com. Jump on his website and see what his platform is all about. Also, we have Henderson's mayor, Michelle Romero. She's running for re-election. Her website is votemichelleromero.com, votemichelleromero.com. Jump on her website and get in touch with her. Also, we have Cody K. Whipple, and he's running for Congressional District 4. His website is codykforcongress.com, and that's the number 4, codykforcongress.com. Also, don't forget to grab your copy of Steve's book, How to Navigate Nevada's Family Court System. You can get a copy on Amazon. It is $14.99. And for all those litigants who are in the family court system and you don't have an attorney and can't afford one, this book is a self-help book and it will help you navigate that system. So grab your copy. Also, we have a merch store. It's vipimerch.com, vipimerch.com. There's all kinds of fun things for you to check out on there. Also, grab your tickets to our Valentine's Ball. It's February 7th of 2026. We have early bird tickets on sale now, and they go up in a couple of months. So grab your tickets and save some money. We look forward to seeing you there. Also, for my rant real quick, if you guys noticed, I think this was yesterday, the House Oversight Committee has concluded almost all of Biden's executive orders and pardons were signed by an auto pen. This is one of the biggest scandals in American history. This is absolutely appalling. They have directed the DOJ to investigate this. They say that this is a massive cover-up. And you've heard this, we've all heard this before. They claim that Biden, he didn't even know probably what was going on. He really wasn't running the country, in my opinion. I think his health was compromised as it's coming out now more and more. The people that worked in his administration, they all knew, and they were covering it up. Anyway, this kind of situation, it needs to be investigated. These people need to be held accountable because basically they hijacked our country and deceived Americans. They are there to serve us. And by using that auto pen and not running anything, I mean, why have a president if they're just going to sign everything by auto pen? So anyway, I hope that these people are brought to justice, and I hope this the truth is comes out, and we all know see what really happened in that administration. And I believe all of those pardons need to be revoked and taken away if they were signed by an auto pen. Anyway, it's terrible.
Interesting concept.
Yeah.
So the auto pen was running the country.
Auto pen, yes, it was auto pen Biden, and that's what was running our country. Unfortunately, pathetic.
Ms. Pellizzari, right? Hi. How you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Could you give us a bio, please?
Yes, I was born in
East LA.
No,
Boston.
Boston.
Born in East LA.
I was born in the USA. She was born in the USA.
Well, Cheech and Chong.
You
know that song.
I don't.
Really?
I know Born in the USA. I don't know this Born in the
East LA.
East LA.
Yeah, Cheech and Chong.
She was too young. Too young for those guys.
Sorry.
That was the 80s era. You know?
Yeah. You never watched Cheech and Chong?
No.
Oh, you need to go home and
I
watch
was born
that.
in 82.
There's a whole series of Cheech and Chong.
All right,
movies.
maybe that's what I'll start singing then.
Please continue.
Okay. I was born in Boston, Massachusetts, which is in the USA. I lived in Massachusetts until I was about 10. Okay. Moved to Las Vegas with my family, with my mom, dad, grandma, and 4 sisters. I graduated high school in Las Vegas. I went to undergrad, got a psychology degree at UNLV. Then from there, I went to law school at Boyd. So I've done everything here in Las Vegas. I started practicing law in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
I started initially at a civil firm for a couple of years. When I went to law school, it was because I wanted to do criminal law. I never wanted to do civil. But I did that a couple of years and then went over to a criminal firm for a couple of years. And I think in 2012, I went out on my own, started my own firm, started working all indigent defense. My entire career has been indigent defense work. Mm-hmm.
Is that like a pro bono thing?
No, so I get court-appointed cases. Right now, I'm a public attorney in municipal court, which means that I have a contract with the city of Las Vegas that I am the public defender in that department. So every case that comes through that department, I'm the attorney for those defendants. Then I also do indigent defense through the federal courts by taking court appointments there, Clark County, at pretty much every county in Nevada. Just last week, I was up in Elko handling indigent defense cases, Winnemucca, Nye County.
Wow.
So yeah, pretty much all over the state of Nevada.
Wow, I got a Supreme Court seat for you to run for if you want. You 17 years of legal experience, correct?
Yeah. Mostly criminal.
You never thought of something like district court? Well, they're all up.
Yeah, no, I mean, of course I have. I think, so my career has mostly been, I guess, the serious stuff. Once you're a certain level of experience, the cases that you start getting are the murders, the sex assaults, the robberies. And I've spent many years pretty much doing just that. I became an attorney I was one that was experienced to take it. I could handle those. So that's what I was getting. And then when I went back into the municipal court, I was in the municipal court system as a public attorney, I think 2010. And then when I went back there this last couple of years, it just kind of brought me back to, I don't know, there's just something about municipal court where it's just a different kind of people in there that I feel like you actually have the more opportunity to help and a more opportunity to actually make a difference in the city when you're starting at that level.
I thought it was a 3-day weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, well. I don't take weekends, so that would be nice.
Really? You're a workaholic. Huh?
I have a lot of work to do. Kids, work, my own business, public attorney.
Okay. So what stands you out? What are your unique qualifications that just say, you know what, we need to put Ms. Pellizzari in that seat?
So I think that it would be hard to find another candidate that has the level of experience that I have. I've been in the courtroom for over 17 years. I've done so many jury trials as lead counsel. I've done every kind of court case you can imagine. I've argued in front of the Nevada Supreme Court. I've sat as an alternate judge, so a pro tem judge in Muni Court. As far as criminal law goes, there's basically nothing I haven't done. I know the law very well. I know what I don't know. I know how to research, how to find things out. I come from judges are impartial, obviously. We all say that, it's true. However, I come from a defense background where I think that's a different perspective of maybe an easier time seeing somebody as an individual, compassion, empathy. I've spent so many years on that side. So I think that that's a unique perspective to bring to the bench, is to bring somebody who's an advocate for the public onto the bench.
Oh, I got to ask this because I'll forget. Veterans. How would you treat veteran defendants?
Well, when I was public attorney in Department 6, it was Veterans Court back. Department 6 used to be Veterans Court until recently Department 1 took over Veterans Court. So I was the public attorney there, and so I was the attorney handling all of the defendants for Veterans Court. I loved it. It was really cool to be able to see people who come in and have not really had any help, people who fought in the Vietnam War, the Korean War, they didn't have any kind of assistance. And it's really sad that they had to enter the criminal justice system to get it. But I absolutely loved that I was getting the opportunity to help give them that, even though the circumstances weren't great, that they had to commit some sort of petty crime to get there. And just in my life, I've always been a major supporter of veterans. My father was a Marine.
Simplify.
My sister was in the Air Force. My brother-in-law, my nephew.
Were you a military brat?
No.
Okay.
No.
How did Dad treat you?
He was strict.
He was like.
He didn't beat me. No.
Did he have you do some push-ups?
No.
He didn't have you do push-ups?
No,
pull-ups?
my mom was the boss of the
Run
house.
a mile?
My mom was
or
the
3
boss
miles?
of the house.
You know the Marine Corps birthday is coming up November 10th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 250.
Mm-hmm.
That's me, 250 years. I look so good for 250.
Heck yeah.
She said, heck yeah. Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Phillips.
Back to the defense, when you were saying that, maybe some people on the other side would see that and think you're going to be light on crime. What do you say to those people?
So, I mean, it's exactly like you could say if I was a prosecutor, you're just going to go in there and put everybody in prison or in jail, right? I come from a perspective that I know the defendants. I don't know you personally, but just as a general, I've worked with them so much. I understand the difference between compassion and giving chances, and accountability and punishments and consequences. When you show up in court, there's got to be accountability. There has to be consequences for your action, but there also has to be a level of understanding and empathy and trying to figure out, is this something that we can stop from happening again? Or do you just need a slap on the wrist and you're done? Or do you need to go to jail for 6 months? I absolutely know that you have to be tough on crime while also being empathetic and compassionate to the people in front of you.
You think that's being part of a judge or being a judge, that's part of how they should be, is compassionate and empathetic? Or do you think they should just be, straight by the book? Here's the law. Here's what it is, and not even think or about compassion?
So obviously the first and foremost has to be the law. You have to follow the law. That's what you're up there to do. You're not up there to just make things up and, well, I like you, so you're not going to go to jail. That's obviously that's not it. But everybody's got a different circumstance, and whether or not you're guilty of a crime, that's the law says whether or not you are. But when you're sentencing somebody, absolutely you have to consider victims, how a victim was impacted. But you also have to look at the defendant as an individual and be empathetic to everybody's situation in your courtroom, from the defendants to the victims to the attorneys in front of you. I think it's very important. It's a stressful place to be in court. It's a place where it's easy for people to just not treat each other right. And I think it's very important to do both. You have to follow the law, but you also need to have that human, empathetic side.
I think being a defense attorney is so difficult because I've often asked myself this. I don't think I could ever be a defense attorney. I would have to be a prosecutor, because if I, it's just the way I'm built. But if I have a client who I think is guilty and they did it, and you have to defend that person. And how does that even work? How do you reconcile that?
So this is what I tell people. If you believe in our justice system and you believe in the Constitution and you believe in things working, our system working as it should, you should be able to be a prosecutor or a defense attorney. Because if you go in there and you follow the law and you follow the Constitution and you do your job the way it's supposed to be done, then justice should end up being served. The bad guy should end up in prison. The innocent person should end up back out on the street. The victim should end up seeing justice served. So in a perfect world, you should be able to do either. I could do either. I know I could be a prosecutor and have no issue prosecuting crimes. As a defense attorney, the burden is on the state. They have to prove that the defendant did something wrong, right? Correct? So most of your cases, they negotiate, because ultimately your client ends up saying, okay, I did something wrong, I'm guilty. They're not always guilty of what they got charged with. Sometimes they get charged with 25 things when really you narrow it down. Okay, they did this one thing, so we're going to plead guilty to that one thing. So yeah, I look at it as the system working on the wheel the way it needs to work. I could do either side.
What if they lie to you? They're lying to you. how does that work?
Well, that's part of what I think would make me be a good judge is I always know when somebody's lying. I've been lied to many times.
I'm sure.
I can always tell when somebody's lying. I can always.
Do you tell them? Do you call them out and say, "I know you're lying. Tell me the truth"?
Well, that would be confidential since they're my
Oh, yes.
clients. So.
In a scenario. No. Yeah, I would have a hard time with
Well,
that.
in general.
In general,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you tell people, "Hey, I think you're lying," or "I know you're lying"? Yeah, just in a general.
Yeah, I mean, nobody likes a liar. Yeah. You got to be trustworthy.
So you mentioned the Constitution
Mhm.
earlier.
Yeah.
I would love to know what's your favorite amendment and why.
What's my favorite amendment? Well, I mean, I think the First Amendment, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
It's what lets us be here right now.
Okay. Is that your favorite?
Hmm.
Okay, beautiful.
I think it's the most important.
All right, well, since we're on that, let's talk about describe your judicial temperament.
Okay, so when I did sit on the bench as a pro tem.
Oh, where?
So I do have in municipal court.
Okay.
So I do have in all the different departments. So I do actually have experience on the bench.
Okay.
But it's just pretty much over my years as a defense attorney and just after as an attorney in general. Court is just contentious by nature. It can be really easy to get emotional and to get angry, to just get worked up. You see that happen. I've come to a place in my career where it's very, very difficult to get me, just to get me there, to get me.
Really? I bet you I could do it.
You might be able to, but
She said you might be able to.
I don't think so, though. No, it takes a lot. It's something that I've grown throughout my career is my ability to have a calm temperament, not let people get under my skin, not act out of control, not shout, not take things personally. So as a judge, temperament, I think that's very important. We're human. When you're going to have moments where you're not going to have that great temperament, you need to get yourself off the bench for a minute. You need to get yourself together.
You'll ask for a recess?
Absolutely. I don't want to be that judge that's shouting at somebody.
Cuff him. I'll take care of my temperament right now.
Sometimes you have very passionate attorneys,
Yeah.
as well. And they kind of, how much time would you give them to, like, one warning, 2 warnings, and then take a recess?
Are you talking like they won't just
stop
talking? Or
they're over talking, or they're yelling, or they're just,
misquoting the law,
little-
correcting you.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about respect, and you need to give respect. And I respect everybody, and I expect to be respected as well. Of course, I'm not going to just sit there and let people, yeah, exactly.
So you say that you were a pro tem,
Mhm.
correct? In Munich court. So how would you handle the high volume cases that's going to come before the court?
Well, as a PA, I really have to handle those now too.
Okay.
So when I was doing that, I was very efficient. I was one of the list of people that they had that they could call. I was one of the ones that all the departments like to have because I'd done it sitting there at the desk as the attorney.
Who was your favorite judge that called you?
Back then?
Yeah.
They're all different now.
I know.
Yeah.
You don't want to tell me who the favorite one?
No.
Okay, please continue.
No.
Someone will hold it against her somewhere, somehow.
I'm not
They will
doing
hold
it.
I
it
thought I
against
was a favorite.
her. Yeah.
I'm not
no.
doing it.
Cedric Kernsby calling her up. I thought I was a favorite.
What was the question?
High value.
We turned left.
High value. See, you got to keep up. High value.
He doesn't even know what he asked
I
you.
do know.
Yeah, because you have notes. He has to look.
High, of course, I want to be professional. How would you handle the high volume cases that's going to come before the court?
So,
and you said that you handling that right now.
Yes, I handle it now. Also handled it as a pro tem. You have to be very quick, but there's cases that are just going to fly through really fast. You have to know how to do it. You have to know the words to use, the way to canvass somebody. If you're new on the bench and you don't even know how to arraign somebody, you can slow the whole thing down tremendously. It's also about having a court staff that all is on the same page and works together, from marshals checking in defendants to the clerks and all both attorneys knowing who's there,
Okay.
knowing who needs to be drug tested, knowing who's not stayed out of trouble, everybody communicating all this information and getting through the calendar every day, while also giving every case the attention that it needs.
Well, I'm going to use one of Judge Balcom's slogans. She goes, I could sit on the bench day one without any on-the-job training. Is that fair assessment for you as well?
I mean, no, I would never say that. Everybody needs training. Everybody needs it.
Well,
You
she
should
was once a
always
JP.
Well, she was a
J-
judge
yeah,
for
so-
years.
And yes,
She just took a little vacation.
yes, she's amazing. But I would need I know I could jump in and do the job, but I'm always going to be learning and being trained by people who know more than me.
So what are your thoughts on diversion programs and alternative sentencing? What are your thoughts on that?
So where you do programs and get your cases dismissed and such, it's obviously very important. It's one of the things that keeps, I think the plan is to keep people in the municipal court system, handle it there, and not have them across the street at district court where they end up with something a lot more serious. And that's what the programs are doing. That's actually when I came back into municipal court, seeing how much work the programs are doing. It's just great. Right now I'm working in Department 5, so I'm doing YO court, so the Young Offenders Court. It's just great. You see people coming through actually wanting to turn their lives around and getting the opportunity to be a kid that walks out of there without a criminal record.
So I'm going to ask you an off-the-wall question because me and Ms. Phillips over there, we were at the City Hall talking about no handicap spots in front of the courthouse, the brand new courthouse. So let's say you're the chief judge, right?
Yeah.
And we just popped into your chambers and said, hey, Judge Pellizzari, where's the handicap spots for the courthouse? What's going on? What would you say to us? What would you do?
I would say that
Go to City Hall.
No, actually,
Go see the mayor.
I would say right when you walk down the steps now on First Street, they just put parking in there, and there's
there
handicap
wasn't none
spaces.
before.
Yeah.
So there are now.
We were pushing for that. I'm saying if there wasn't, at the same time we were pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
what would
so
you
you
say?
guys were
Yeah,
guys
we
were
were-
instrumental in that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we wanted 2 or 4 spots across the street to the north
Yeah.
because there's 4 spots, dedicated that could be easily for handicap, but they only gave 2, which I was surprised. And there's only 5 spots down in the parking lot at Garces, which is, that's kind of far, and especially when it's hot. So I thought there should have been 4, but we were grateful to at least get 2.
Good for you guys for advocating for that.
We were
Yeah.
saying if the taco truck got a spot, the handicapped people should get a spot, right? But the taco truck is for people to.
They moved the taco truck.
I know, but
The-
it was for people to come out,
Gather.
and socialize.
Thousands.
Of employees from the. You'd be amazed what we hear. So we make fun of that all the time. It'd be like 6 people, but we get this email, thousands of employees from
So
the
they can
courthouse,
mingle
so
at
they can
lunch
mingle
hour and
socialize
yeah.
and get fresh air.
Somebody at the city knew the owner of the taco truck had to be.
That had to. I read the actual email in front of the city council, so I thought it was funny. I keep having to bring it up. So how would you handle criticism from the public or media about controversial rulings? How would you do that? Would you say, see my PIO, or would you handle it yourself?
It's going to happen. You have to make your decisions. You have to stand by them. You're going to get negative feedback, and if you have to be firm that you're making the right decision. And if it is, the public's always going to have something to say, and you just got to keep doing what you know is the right way to do your job.
Court observers, how would you handle that?
I love people should always come and observe court. That's wonderful. I love seeing people in court observing. I would welcome that.
Ms. Phillips?
So before, I forget what month it is, earlier this year when you applied for that open seat, Department 1. And it was earlier this year, right? Not last year?
March. Yeah, it was this year.
Tell us about that process and how that was, and if you had any interaction with the public during that process, and if you think that it would be beneficial the public were there to witness your interviews, just how that whole thing went. And how many were there? There were how many applicants for this?
So I don't remember exactly. It was under 15, maybe 11.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the initial process was that we all interviewed with a panel. It was a pretty large panel that I guess each city council member got to have certain people there. So there were attorneys, court administration, former judges, DAs, that kind of thing. And we interviewed with them, and then they picked a top 3 and brought those top 3 to the city council to interview. And then the city council did 3 separate interviews. So a group of 3, a group of 2. Was it 3, 2? I can't remember. It was a while ago.
So it wasn't the full council that
No,
interviewed
no.
each of the 3.
No, it was in groups. Yeah. Bill, because the city council can't have a meeting like that without it being public. So, yeah. So no, I didn't have any kind of public interaction. It was just the panel and then the separate city council meeting or interviews.
How do you think that would go if the public were able to attend a hearing or an interview?
I think the difference would at least be that all city council members could have been hearing and seeing the same thing, maybe. But I know that it was a process that they took a lot of time to figure out, and there was a lot of work and back and forth on it, and that's what they came up with, and that's the process I went through.
And then there's another seat at Department 2, right?
That's going to be, but that's not going to be an appointment. It's going to be a caretaker seat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Explain to people what that is.
What a caretaker is. So a caretaker is somebody who, when there's a retired judge, sits on the bench and essentially caretakes the seat until they get an actual elected judge in. So right now they're taking applications for the caretaker to sit at Department 2 until somebody's elected in 2026.
So I'm trying to get into your head. I want to try to figure out how you think. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a therapist, just to let you know.
Okay.
We know.
I would probably be sucky at that job. Grow up! Get out of my office. That's $5.50. Hours up.
But you live with what? So almost the same.
Almost, but I could walk out any time and don't have to pay.
This is true.
So, why this seat that has appointed incumbent versus a vacated seat that has no appointed incumbent?
So when I started this whole process to be a judge, it was Department 1. I went through the application process, the interviews.
So you applied for it.
I was number 2.
Oh.
Yeah, when there was the top 3.
Nobody wants to be number 2.
Well, no. No.
She's going back for the same. She's going back for the same seat
Are
that
you
she.
kidding me?
Yeah, right.
Well, that's where my focus was. That's where my focus has been. And Department 2 wasn't a thing. Nobody knew that Judge Rogers was going to retire.
She didn't leak it.
No, nobody knew. It was a surprise to everybody. So once that came open, of course, I was presented with, do you want to go to the open seat? And I'm just a very focused person. I was focused. I had a goal. And then once I started thinking about this other department, I just felt like I was losing focus.
Gotcha.
Like I've been putting one out there. I've been working for one. I've been working for one since the interview process. So I'm just going to keep working for that.
Do you think there's going to be a bunch of candidates jump into the Department 2?
I think that happens anytime you have an open seat. Yeah. You just unexpected people come out of the woodwork, and it's any open seat.
So you've been practicing for 17 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you love the law.
Mm-hmm.
What would you want folks to remember you by?
Remember me by as a lawyer, as a judge, as a
lawyer, judge, person. Just mom, wife, Sister?
I have to think about that
Sister?
for 1 second.
Sister?
I
Sister.
guess that
You have siblings?
I have 4 sisters.
Four
Yeah.
sisters?
Uh-huh.
Brothers?
No.
Okay.
No, 4
Any
sisters.
fur babies? Or?
What?
Fur babies.
Oh yeah, I have 3 dogs and a cat. A bloodhound, a basset hound, a bulldog, and a cat. Yeah, that's allowed.
And a cat.
And a cat.
What type of cat?
It's a black and white cat.
I love basset hounds. They are so
Yeah.
cute.
We
Yes, they are
we
so
have a
cute.
special for people that have pets.
Oh yeah.
No, I have pets. That's why.
Yeah, I love the bassets. Are the cutest though.
So what do you want people to remember you by?
I guess I always try to teach my kids to live in a way that it's hard. It's like words I don't be a jerk, basically. Like
just be nice.
Be kind, be good, be nice, put others above yourself, care about other people, but also be strong and successful and always stand by what you believe in. And that's definitely something that I hope people see in me, that I always stand by what I believe in, that I always try to take the high road. I've told you earlier, but I believe very strongly in our Constitution, and I believe in our court system. I believe in protecting everybody's rights. Helping the people that can't help themselves.
Okay.
What do you like to do in your spare time? And I know you don't have much, but besides work, and I know you have kids, but if you just have a free day, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do?
So my kids are teenagers now, so it's fun because a lot of my free time can include having fun with them as well. So we like to go to movies. We like to, go downtown, go thrifting. I love to read. You'll always see me with a book. I'll always have 3 going at a time. An audiobook on my phone, a paper book, and one on my app. Always reading 3 at the same time. Love to watch movies at home. Obviously, I love my pets. I like to travel when I can.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now you've been campaigning. Mm-hmm. Now you've been going to, a ton of events. And we were talking about before the show, people just don't know the judges.
Yeah.
So what is your answer? And I've asked this to other candidates that are running for a judicial seat. What's your answer to get people engaged and involved? How do you draw people to a judicial campaign event so people will come meet you guys?
I mean, social media is obviously a big thing. Getting involved with groups, people as yourselves who people trust to give advice on judicial candidates. It's really just about connecting with community, and that kind of starts expanding out. And you hope that the word that spreads about you is good.
Mm-hmm. Judicial
philosophy and courtroom conduct. How would you describe? No. No, that's not what I would have asked.
We talked about temperament.
No. Back in the day, I never had any notes at all.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that right, Mark?
And then he discovered this nifty little.
And then I discovered this nifty app.
Nifty app on his phone, and now he's like crazy
with it.
Oh my
God, I don't have to think anymore. Ooh. So, what values do you want people to see in your courtroom, whether it's firmness, fairness, empathy, or efficiency?
Well, all of those, you have to add respect to that, because you can see a lot of disrespect in the court system. Everybody, whether you're a defendant, whether you're sitting on the bench, everybody needs to be respectful to everybody. In municipal court, efficiency is very important, because you can't have people who came in for a traffic ticket and took time off work to come handle a traffic ticket, and then they're there till 2:00 in the afternoon. So that's in municipal court. It's especially important for the efficiency. But then also, there is something, you still got to be tough. You got to stand your ground. You got to demand respect. Also give respect. Be empathetic. All of those things.
What do you think about night court?
Night court?
Yeah.
Like a show?
No.
Isn't there a show called?
Oh, I don't know. Is there? Maybe so. Maybe one day 2 days
Comes
a
right
week.
after Judge Judy.
No idea. What was the judge way back? I forget. The original guy that was
Wapner.
Wapner. Love that guy.
Having
Then Judge
court at
Judy,
night.
yeah, she took over. Yeah, no, at night for a couple of hours. People that work different hours and maybe 2 days a week, and you guys kind of rotate and handle one of those days. Or
I would do it right now. We do as public. The judges and the public attorneys and the city attorneys will alternate weekends and holidays to do bail hearings. So it's not out of the ordinary to come in on days you're not that should be off. Mm-hmm. So, this year I have the Thanksgiving bail hearings, which means that my judge has the Thanksgiving bail hearings and whatever city attorney. I don't really see it being much different than that. I don't think anybody would have a problem.
You think that you'd have a higher rate of people getting to their court hearing if it was, people work during the day or whatever the case is, more people would show up if there was a night court option?
I don't know. That's tough to say. You have some people that aren't showing up and they probably aren't going to show up. Most people are pretty responsible about it, getting time off work. I'm or obviously resource for a lot of people. I'll get hundreds of calls a week, people telling me, I can't come to court. I'm sick. My car broke down. My kid's in the hospital. Mm-hmm. And so I get court dates moved, make sure people don't go into warrants. So, it'd probably lower work on everybody who's having to work around the people who can't come to court. But I don't know what that would do. I would be open to trying it if I was ever presented with it.
What inspired you to pursue a career in law?
In law? So let's see.
Did you have other options? Maybe a therapist?
Yeah, I was doing psychology. Mm-hmm. So continuing in psychology was definitely something that I considered. But while I was in the psychology undergrad, when I was doing my internships and my research projects and all of the work, I just kept gearing towards psychology in the law. And I just kept gearing towards criminal psychology stuff. And all of my interest was that. So that's where I decided that I think criminal law would be better for me than psychology.
You visited some of the institutions, the detention centers.
All of them, pretty much.
All of them?
Yeah, pretty much. I would say CCDC, City Jail, North Las Vegas, High Desert, Elko Jail, Nye County Jail, Winnemucca Jail.
Do you think that they need any improvements when you walk into those facilities? What would you want to change?
If I had the ability to improve a facility, yes. Of course they need work. They need medical care and they need the better staffing. I know that they, understaffed sometimes. Of course, I think that's always going to be a thing where you need prisons that need work.
All right. Is there anything that you want to bring up that we haven't touched on?
I don't think so.
Okay. Ms. Phillips?
Yeah, one quick thing. Do you prefer making deals or do you prefer going to trial?
So that's the defendant's decision. I do whatever they want. If they want a deal, then I take a deal. As an attorney, I love going to trial. I've done so many jury trials. I love being in trial. It's fun. It's one of the reasons why you like doing this job. Is it's a really cool experience to do a jury trial. But yeah, it's whatever they want. If they want a deal, we take a deal. If they want, I always try to get you the best deal possible. If you won't take anything or they won't give you anything, then we go to trial.
Doesn't a deal isn't that kind of a slap in the face to the victim and the family, depending on the crime? I always, when I see deals made, I think they make deals way too quickly, and they, get less time and it's way too easy on the criminal.
So actually we have in Nevada, we have Marcy's Law. Are you familiar with that? So when I'm not a prosecutor, so I'm not involved in making deals or providing offers. But I do know that they have to be involved with the victim. They have to get the input. They will talk to victims and ask them if they're comfortable with the deal. What I've seen from prosecutors typically is when victims say, I'm not comfortable with it, then they don't offer it. So generally what I see is prosecutors are offering deals that their victims are comfortable with.
Okay.
But obviously that can't always be the case. Sometimes they're just going to have issues with their case. Sometimes they'll have a lead witness that they can't get or evidence issues. But the prosecutors do have a job to keep victims informed and to give victims right to be heard and to take part in plea negotiations.
You're talking about the city attorney's office, not the district attorney.
All of the city,
because
the
I
all
know
prosecutors have to have
I
it,
know a
but-
few cases that they never told the victim about the deal, and or the victim don't want the deal, but they still went ahead and did the deal. So I know several cases that has happened, and just my experience.
Like that gang of kids that killed the high school kid, after school, and they all ganged up and beat him to death and he died. I believe a couple of those, I think they brought in 4 of those juveniles, and 2, they were going to charge them as adults, and then 2 of them they dropped down to juveniles. Again, I can't imagine that mother, I think the mother, in fact, in that article was super upset over that. And those decisions, to me, when something is so egregious like that, is that's difficult to swallow.
There really is nothing that makes a situation like that rectified,
Well, Ms. Pellizzari, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you, guys.
Mark's going to zoom in on you, and you can say whatever you want.
Okay.
Vote for me. I got Kit Kats on Halloween. Come over with some sunbursts.
Come over and say hi.
Whatever you want to say, your point of contact, your campaign site, whatever it is.
All right.
Okay.
I'm Amanda Pellizzari. I'm running for Las Vegas Municipal Court Judge, Department 1. I would appreciate everybody's vote. As a judge, I'm going to be fair. I'm going to be compassionate, empathetic, and I'm going to serve my community as best as possible. If you want to reach out to me, my phone number is 702-581-3059. You can email me at amanda@electamandajudge.com. You can also look me up on Instagram or Facebook. Just search Amanda Pellizzari and I'll pop up. I appreciate anybody's time. I appreciate you guys letting me be here. And thank you, everybody.
Oh, Ms. Pellizzari, thank you so much for being on the program. Ms. Phillips. Folks, that's Amanda Pellizzari, candidate for Las Vegas Municipal Court, Judge Department 1, Uno, if you habla español. This is Steve Sanson, Stephanie Phillips of Veterans in Politics. We hope this show has been informative for you. Until next week.